In this video, I want to go into more detail about landing pages. So I'm going to cover that the different types of landing pages which work well with native ads, but we're actually going to dive a little bit deeper as well. And I'm going to walk you through some landing pages and just look at the structure of the copywriting and the layout so you can see what works well if you want to actually create your own landing pages or if you want to edit some existing templates. This will just give you a clearer understanding of what actually works. So I'll show you some different types in a moment. But I'm going to start off with this main one, which is the advertorial style landing page. Advertorial landing pages work really well because they don't feel like you're selling to the person that's reading it. Because if you remember, the adverts don't actually look like adverts. They blend into the content. So when someone's reading the news, they're not planning on being sold to. They're not planning on buying any products that day. They're just reading stories. Then they see an advert which doesn't really look like an advert talking to their issue or their pain problem, and they think it's an article, and then they click on it and then they lead through to a landing page, and we want it to be congruent with what they've just been reading. So that's why an advertorial page works really well, because they're still in reading mode at this stage. They're still not planning on being sold to, and they're reading this headline and they're scrolling down. And then the job of this landing page is to actually take them from that mindset of being a reader and a consumer into actually being a buyer of the product. And that's why advertorials work really well, because it's kind of a blend between the two. It's an advert and it's an editorial, and we can kind of take the user from that state into actually buying the product. So I would say 95% of the time you're going to be using these types of landing pages when you're running native ads. And I'll just talk you through now kind of the structure of them and what works well. So this is actually a landing page which I ripped, and I promoted this product to myself. The product is this one here. This is just in the way. Let me just squeeze this. It's a Wi-Fi boosting product, e-commerce product, which does quite well on native ads. It's fairly low price, so it is quite hard to make it really profitable, but people are crushing it with this product. And I've promoted it in the past. But I just want to show you my landing pages that I was running for this campaign. So this one I actually ripped, and I'll talk you through why this is a good landing page now, and kind of the structure of it. And then I'll show you some of the alternative versions that I actually created myself. So when you're creating your own landing page, you haven't got to start from zero, scratch, and just build one up from the ground. What I tend to do is actually rip a landing page, and then I use that as a template, and then really go in and change it to match my angle that I'm going to go for. And you'll see some of the alternative angles that I went for this this product a little bit later on in this video when I show you my other landing pages. But we'll just go through this now. So first of all, the main thing is the top of it, which is the headline. And this is the first thing that the user's going to see when they click on the page. So this is the most important. And when you actually do find a winning landing page that is working well, then you actually get to a stage where you can just split test headlines against each other and actually find the very best headline. So headlines are really important, and the structure of them, you can have a play around with this, but the few points which I try to make the headline fit into is that it needs to make sure it's congruent with the advert. So like I said previously when I was talking about the adverts and getting people to click, you want them to click on an advert, and when they arrive at this page, this still needs to be relating to what they just clicked on, because if there's a disconnection, they will click away because they get confused. So you want it to be similar to the headline which they initially clicked, but you've got a bit more room now to go in a bit more detail and maybe start touching on the product or the problem or the solution that you're going to offer in this article. So you want it to be congruent with the advert. You also want it to be attention grabbing as well. So as I said, you don't want it to be boring. You want to just really catch their attention, because most people that click on things will just click off straight away. And this is where we're going to get them to want to read. So you want to be a bit sensationalized. You want to really grab their attention. You also want to highlight their pain point as well. So if they're clicking on this advert, I said you want to choose a product that is really solving someone's pain point. So at this stage, you kind of want to emphasize that pain point that they've got and say, in this instance, this device fixes slow Wi-Fi. People have got slow Wi-Fi. They would have clicked on this advert because you said there's a solution to slow Wi-Fi. And then you want to say at the top, this fixes slow Wi-Fi. So you're talking to their problem straight away and highlighting that problem. but you'll notice that it's not actually selling. We're not telling them we're actually selling a product at this point. You want it to still look like a headline that would just be in any other newspaper. So it's almost reporting on something. So this says, device fixes slow Wi-Fi and has internet companies worried, which is quite attention grabbing. Everyone should have this. So although we are starting to lean towards the fact that it's going to be talking about some kind of product, it doesn't feel like they're being sold to at this point. We just want them to read a little bit more to find out what that product is. Another little thing to notice, which isn't on this headline here, which we'll see on other headlines that I talk about, but specific numbers work well. So you could say like, device fixes Wi-Fi by 300%, or this pill can help you, solution helps you lose weight, lose 30 pounds in 60 days, or something like that. If you can be specific with headlines, or maybe include statistics in a headline, it can also work quite well. But as I said, you will have to split test headlines. There's no sure answer of what works. You will have to just test them when you're running your split testing later on. But I would definitely still use this tool here, this headlines.sharethrough tool, which I mentioned earlier, because that it's mainly used for the actual ad headlines, but it still does work perfectly for these headlines on your landing pages, because the job's still pretty much the same. You are grabbing their attention, and rather than wanting to click at that stage, you actually want them to read a bit further down. So it does help you work on them. So I would use that tool as well when you're creating your headlines. So then as we go down, just looking at my notes here, so the main image that we're going to have, you're going to have an image right at the top. And again, the job of this is to grab their attention mainly. What I found works best is amateur images work best. This isn't really an amateur image on this one that I've ripped. You'll see an alternative one in a minute. But this is a before and after picture, so they also do work as well. If you can do some kind of before and after, whether it's a weight loss product, or it's an anti-wrinkle product, or a Wi-Fi boosting product, or a product which eradicates damp in the home, a before and after works great, because instantly you're saying this solution works, look, and that makes them want to find out what that solution is. So they work quite well. Amateur images work better than stock images, and again, if you can just highlight either the results or the pain. So if you don't want to go for the before and after picture, you can maybe just highlight their pain. So it could be like someone with slow Wi-Fi here, or slow Wi-Fi here, and saying there's a solution. Or it could be the actual result. So it could be fast Wi-Fi, or it could be someone that's lost weight, or something like that. So you can have a play around with these images, and they do play a big part in. So again, later on, when you've actually found a winning landing page, you can start split testing images as well, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. So that's the structure of the top of the page, and it is different depending on the angle you're going for, and there's a few different formats you can go down, which we'll touch on in this video. But that is the main like advertorial, attention grabbing, non-selling kind of headline and image, which is going to grab the reader in and get them to read the rest of the article. So then we move down to the first paragraphs. So again, with the first paragraphs, this says, this is how thousands of people in the United States are getting super fast home internet for cheap. If your internet Wi-Fi feels like it's gotten slow, we can explain why it's gotten worse. It's not written very well, but you can see, again, it's grabbing the attention. We're not selling anything at this point. We're not talking about a product. We are grabbing their attention, and what we're doing is we're using FOMO, fear of missing out, because we're saying thousands of people in the United States are getting fast internet. So the person that's currently got this issue of slow internet, they're like, whoa, thousands of people are getting fast internet. Why am I not getting fast internet? I want to jump in on this. I want to read more. I want to find out what this solution is that everyone else has got. And again, we're ticking the box with curiosity, because it doesn't actually say what the solution is. Nowhere here, apart from this here at the top, which doesn't actually show up on a mobile phone. It's not actually saying what the solution actually is at this point. So they kind of want to keep reading more. And then it continues to go down here, and it says it's most likely that your internet service provider gave you a weak router and it's slowing down your internet. They usually give cheap routers that gets you slow over time. So what is it doing here now? It's amplifying their pain point. So they've got slow internet, and it's making it feel even worse. It's kind of amplifying their issue that they've got. It's slowing down your internet, and it talks through here, and it says slow internet can be frustrating for everyone. So it's really pouring petrol on that fire of their issue that they've got and actually making it feel worse to them and amplifying that pain to them. Also, in these first paragraphs, statistics work quite well as well. There isn't really statistics in this one. It says how thousands of people in the United States are getting fast broadband, but you can also use that as well. Like 1 in 4 households have got this issue or something like that. That also works quite well because it kind of builds up a bit of trust. It makes your news article seem a little bit more accurate or trustworthy, and you can find that information from actual news stories or do a bit of research and make sure you put in real stats in about how many people in the United States are living with slow internet, or how many homes in the USA have got damp in their homes, and that's the kind of thing that you can play on in this section here. And then as you go down, as you can see here, into the second section, what we're going to do is we're offering the solution to their problem. So we've just amplified their problem. We've talked about their slow internet. And now we're starting to touch on, well, there's a solution. Here it is. Where there's a solution to fix that problem. And then we basically go into throwing in an image of what the solution is. So this is where you could show your product, all the results of your product, if it's not maybe not an e-commerce product. And then this is where we could start to go into more detail about what the product is, and we would also start offering a call to action. So here you can see it says this device is now available for order online and has recently gone viral. So we're giving them an option to click on this, which will lead through to the offer page. And throughout this article now, there's going to be lots more calls to actions to get them to click and get over to the offer page. Because if you remember, the goal is to get as many people clicking on that offer page as possible. But you would probably think, well, why don't we just stick a call to action right up here? Because we also want them converting, and all of this stuff that we're doing here is helping convert that sale. So we want as many clicks as possible, but we want them to be qualified clicks, and we want them to be already sold on that product. So when they get there, they haven't got to be doing any thinking about it. They're not really going to do any research, because we're providing all of the research in this article as well. So we just continue to go in more detail about the product. This has got a video here, and it says, how does the device work? So again, we're answering any of their questions that they might have that they traditionally would go to Google and say, well, let's Google this product. And we're kind of answering those questions in an editorial style. So it still feels like an article, but it is starting to lean more towards a sale pitch at this point. So be careful not to go too far into sales mode. Still try and keep it kind of editorial style, but you do need to start talking about like the benefits of the product and why they need it. And you can show some more results, testimonials. And also what you start to do in this section as well is answer any objections. So I don't think this one's got FAQs. No, but it's kind of answering the objections here, like, well, is it expensive? Is it easy to use? Does it live up to its promises? So if the person reading this might have some objections and they're not sure about the product, it's instantly being answered here. Another way of doing that is with FAQs. So it could be like FAQs about Superboost, and it could be, is it expensive? No, it's not expensive. Is it easy to use? No, it's not. It is easy to use, sorry. And again, we would just call to action down there, and then testimonials here work quite well. And results, if someone's got results, like this person here has got fast internet using this product, so that all would come into the second section of your landing page as we're starting to sell. And then in the final section, it's just a summarizing the whole article and basically a call to action for them to actually purchase it down here. Check availability always works quite well, because again, that's kind of playing into scarcity, that it might not be available. You need to check if it's available. Click on it, and it'll lead through to the sales page. Again, you can use more scarcity tactics here, saying that maybe the offer's ending if the offer's ending, and play around with that. Just be careful with some native ad networks don't allow certain tactics. So if you are going too far on scarcity, I think this one's okay, check availability. But if you've got like a countdown timer and stuff, some of them don't allow it. So you just need to check that out with the native ad network when you're running it. So that is kind of the format of a landing page, and it kind of feels like this advertorial style article which eventually sells on them. But I just want to show you, so this was the first one that I actually ripped for this product, but then I decided to create my own as well. So this is the one that I created. And as you can see, it's a little bit different, but it's the same. It's kind of same format. So as I said, you can take the same format and then just play around with it yourself. And with this, it says the headline is "Dad discovers Wi-Fi trick that boosts his internet speed by 300% in seconds." Now this is a bit of a different angle, and this is why you can start exploring different angles. So this one's going on like, "This device fixes slow Wi-Fi and it has companies worried." That's kind of their angle. Internet companies worried. My angle was more of like a DIY hack. Dad discovers Wi-Fi trick that boosts it by 300% in seconds. And again, we've kind of used a dad to make it a little bit more relatable in a way. It could just be man or something like that, but dad kind of works well because it makes it relatable, and it kind of was congruent with the adverts that I was running. And then I've used some statistics here by 300%. And we're still talking to their pain point, because their pain point is that they want to have 300%, and they've got a desire here. They've got a desire to have 300% faster internet. Everyone wants faster internet, and this person's going to offer us a hack. And again, it's not selling anything. We're just grabbing their attention, and we want them to continue reading. And then we've got here some amateur pictures which I took myself and just put some tinfoil over my router to imply that that was the hack, just to get them to read a little bit more. And then basically it's quite similar setup here where we're talking through the pain point and highlighting it, but we've got good news. And then basically it was like fixing it at home, fixing the internet. There's another picture of it there, picture of the product. And then I took this one here, put some more tinfoil over it. So I basically was implying that if they get this router and also put some tinfoil over it, it can boost it even further. So I was going a next level up. I was saying that the solution, because I was like, well, if they see tinfoil here, they might be like, well, that's not the solution. So I decided to go, you need to buy the product and then put tinfoil over it, and you can get crazy fast speeds. And I put this like Giphy image here, which puts the internet going up really quickly. And then I made it like look like it's going viral and shared some people's images, and that was kind of the strategy behind this one. And then we showed the product down here, some before and afters. This was actually a different product, Ultra Boost, but that was on a different affiliate network. And that's basically the structure of that which I decided to do. So that just gives you an idea of different angles. I'll just show you another one which I tested out, which I don't think this one worked that well, but it's just to show you an alternative angle of doing it. So this is worst place in the UK for broadband speed revealed, and how to make yours faster without upgrading. This again feels more like an editorial style post, and it's kind of like the worst places in the UK for broadband. So I think on the advert I tried like tagging in their location. So like Manchester voted one of the worst places for broadband, here's how to fix it. So then they click on that because they can relate to it, and basically we go and highlight their pain points. So like here it says fast broadband is your basic human right, because what we're really doing is we're trying to amplify their pain point and make them feel like they want to have fast internet. And then this was a lot more of a detailed advertorial where I like, it's time consuming, frustrating, it's costing you money. And then we offer the solution, and then we go down here to the FAQs, which I was talking about, where we can actually answer their if they've got any questions about the product. And that's kind of that strategy. Also, I wanted to show you this here, which is bullet points. So a good little way of doing copywriting, if you are doing some kind of article like this, is to use bullet points. And there's a little strategy which is feature plus benefit plus meaning. So if you're struggling to write copy for it, you can basically just think, what is the feature of the product and what is the benefit and what does that mean for the person? So for instance, in this one, it will increase your Wi-Fi by 300%. That's the feature, which means pages load faster, which is the benefit, and you can spend more time doing what you love, meaning. So you can kind of have a play around with that and think, well, what is the feature, what is the benefit, what the meaning? And it gives you some copy, and that works really well in articles like this as well. So again, you can kind of play around with these advertorials and just test them out. That's the best thing. But it is good to create your own and you can kind of sometimes think of some really cool angles. Now there's many different types of like landing page styles of advertorials, and it's just a case of trying them out. But the good thing about LandLab is they've already got loads of templates in here already, so you can actually just go and have a play around with these. So ones which work quite well, but you have to be a bit careful with these, are these ones here, which basically are it looks like a news article, but it's basically implying that the product has got a deal on a TV show. And this says, this moisturizer gets biggest deal in Shark Cage history. Now the reason they call it Shark Cage is because it's a play on Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, and they've created their own because most of the native ad networks don't actually allow you to mention TV shows in your story. So they've just gone with this like Shark Cage, and it's implying that it got a big investment and it's a great product. This is a bit more aggressive, and probably quite a few of the native ad networks won't allow this style of landing page, but I'm just showing you as different angles which people have come up with to try and promote products. So it's kind of like this with before and afters. You can also have this type here, which is more of like a blog post. So this is it says advertorial at the top, and it's about a product which gets rid of mold, like a little bag thing, a purifier, air purifier product. But it's the way it's been written out, it's less sensationalized and it's less like a news story. But it's like, recently I was taking my morning shower when I had one of the most disgusting experiences in my life. I reached up to grab the soap, and then it's more of like a story style blog, which also works well with native ads. And they're kind of introducing this product here, which is very similar setup to the previous one, but just a slightly different tone about it if you want to go down that route. So those are the main kind of advertorial style pages that you'll go for. But one of the other style landing pages which a lot of people run on native ads is this one to VSLs. So it's this, I showed you this previously, I think. So it's basically looks a little bit like a Facebook post. It's got a headline, it's got an image, and then it has some text here with a watch now button where they can click to watch the video. And I'll show you another example. I think I've got one open up here. So it's this one here. So 1 cup of this tonight will burn your belly fat like crazy, with an image of a random drink, and then a tiny bit of headline, which is discover this breakthrough of how 37-year-old had a stroke, lost 52 pounds in less than 3 weeks using this simple trick, watch now. Now these landing pages only should really be used with a VSL offer, where it's a video sales page on the product is a video sales page, and it's a long video which is a proven successful product, because this is not really doing much pre-selling. It's doing a little bit of pre-selling, but the ultimate goal of this is just to get the click, because they know that the VSL, the video sales letter, is so well written, and it's so attention grabbing, and it's using all of the copywriting tactics that will sell the product for you. So in this instance, all we really need is something to tell them. We're going to give them a little headline, which is going to imply, it's going to talk to their issue, and it's also going to say there's a solution, but then we're just going to get them to watch a video. But I wouldn't use this style of landing page with, say, an e-commerce product where it's just going to lead through to a checkout page, because there's no pre-selling really done here. There's a little bit of pre-selling, but there's not that much pre-selling. So if you're selling any kind of like e-commerce product, or even a product which is just straight to a sales page, then advertorial style works better, because you are going through all of them points and you're actually selling the product. Whereas if it's a VSL and they're going to be watching a video, then these work okay, because we're just getting the click. Now these are quite good if you want to get a campaign up and running quite quickly, and it has got a good VSL, then these do work quite well. I actually have my own style of VSL landing page, which is kind of a hybrid of the two, which I prefer to use, to be honest. So a lot of people that are promoting VSL style landing pages, they don't usually do an advertorial style landing page, because the video is going to do the selling. But I like to do a bit of a hybrid. I think I showed you this already, but it's this style. So it looks like it's an advertorial, it says advertorial at the top. It looks like a news story. And in this here, we're not actually selling a product. So we're not talking about the benefits of the product. We're not talking about the features of the product. We're not doing anything. We're not even telling them there's a product for sale, which is what we did in this one. They know by the end of this that there's a product for sale. But in this style landing page, we're not telling them there's a product. All we're doing is we want them to go and watch that video. But I actually am doing a lot of pre-selling in this page as well. So if you are promoting a VSL style offer, then definitely give this a go. So what you'll notice if you actually read through this is that we are actually promoting, we're getting them to watch the video. So basically what I do is I say that this person has discovered so this product, if you can't remember, this product is a course which teaches a new way of getting children to read much more quickly. So we start talking about the simple reading trick that's going to put the education out of business, the education system out of business. And then here we say that it's a simple reading trick that expensive education system don't want you to know. This trick can cut your child's learning by 90%. When you hear how easily this person got her 18-month child to read so quickly, you'll be shocked. Find out exactly how she did it. So again, we're getting them to read further down. And then we start implying there's a 15-minute reading trick. But then we're not going, buy this course. All we're saying is she discovered a viral video online. And in that video, the person explained this 15-minute trick. So the only call to action on this page is not to buy a product, it's to watch a video. And we're kind of implying it's a viral video and it's a free video because it is a free video that's going to offer that solution. And then they click that and it leads through to the VSL, which does all the selling for us. So our whole job here is still the same as this other one where we're just getting the click and we want them to watch the video. But there's lots more pre-selling going on here because we're showing results, we're telling stories, and we are saying that this is a great video that's going to solve your problem. And I just find that this works so much better than these ones. I mean, I've tested them both. These still do work great for certain types of offers, but I've had a lot more success with this style of landing page. And then we literally do a call to action at the bottom, which is just watch the short video here. And then this is the thumbnail of the video, which they can click on to watch that video, and it leads through to the ClickBank offer. So definitely try that if you are going to do VSL offers. I'm also going to show you another quick alternative version to this as well, and it's this one here. So this obviously looks a lot more professional. It's not necessarily it doesn't look too much like a news website. It's like an individual post, but basically this is getting people to watch this video again. So it's kind of another hybrid between the two, where it's not just saying watch this video with one sentence. It's quite a long piece of text post, which again is talking to their issues. So this one we're kind of going a different angle. This was for the same reading product, but it's, did you know that 45 million Americans are illiterate and 85% of juvenile offenders have reading problems? So we're talking to their pain point, and we're amplifying the fact that if your child can't read, it can lead to a lot of issues later on in life, and that is quite attention grabbing. There's no denying that America's reading problems have had a direct impact on the issues we face today. And then we start to talk about stats. Good news, it's easy to fix. If you've got children, you need to read this. And then we basically go into this 15-minute reading trick, and then they can watch the presentation here, which leads through to the VSL. So that's another little style that you can do if you're promoting VSLs. But this video hopefully was helpful if you are going to be creating your own landing pages. But definitely watch this again, because it's jam-packed, and when you are doing your landing page, just follow those notes that I was talking through earlier, and if you tick all of those boxes, you should be able to create a great landing page. Now, it will be trial and error. You will need to split test things, but it is always good just to throw your own landing page in there. You might find that someone else's landing page is already ticking all the boxes that you've ripped, and it's already performing better than yours, and that's absolutely fine. But you don't know unless you try your own, and you might be onto a winner if you create your own landing page.